Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some breaking news coming out from Ukraine to share with you. We've got reports that just last night, the Russians launched another wave of drone attacks onto Ukraine, targeting the Sumy region. We have reports of an energy facility that was hit, and we've got blackouts in multiple districts in the Sumy region. So it looks like there were 12 regions that were attacked in the Sumy area. And again, we've got an energy facility that was struck and was taken offline, okay, from these drone attacks. The Ukrainians state that they shot down 24 of 27 drones that were fired into the Sumy area. And it looks like this was another massive hit to Ukraine's energy grid once again, which we already know their energy grid is suffering. There's lots of reports coming out all over X all the time that Ukraine's having to undergo blackouts in multiple regions across Ukraine. The Odessa region, the Sumy region is now getting hit. We have some in the Kharkiv region as well. So multiple regions in Ukraine undergoing blackouts, like similar to what you see here in the photo. By the way, this photo is only for reference. It is not actually in Sumy, but we do know there is some emergency electricity shutoffs for industrial consumers in the city of Sumy. So Sumy directly being hit by these blackouts. So I've got some information I want to go over here today. This is just going to be a quick update. It's not going to be a long video, just kind of to let you know what happened over here. So I've got this report here on Reuters. Russian drone attack on Ukraine hits energy facility in Sumy region. So this just came out just yesterday, but it was updated late last night. Russia launched an overnight drone attack across Ukraine on Saturday, hitting an energy facility in the Sumy region in the northeast of the country, officials said. And by the way, if you weren't aware of where Sumy is at, Sumy is actually right next to the Kharkiv region as well. So it's just like northwest of where Kharkiv is at. And we are also expecting the Russians to launch another offensive into the Sumy region. It's been reported for well over a month now, ever since the Kharkiv operation was launched by the Russians, that we are expecting the Russians to eventually push into the Sumy region as well and open up another front. And then we also had some reports, I think his name was from James O'Brien. He was from some Eurasian Affairs committee, and he came out and reported just the other day. I did a whole video on this, stating that if Russia opens up another offensive or tries to expand the war, expand the front, that they would allow the Ukraine to strike deeper inside of Russian territory, okay? This is coming from the U.S. as well. The U.S. would allow these strikes deeper inside of Russian territory. So Ukrainian mobile drone hunter groups and air defense units shot down 24 of the 27 Russian drones fired on 12 regions, the Air Force said. National grid operator Ukrenergo said the energy facility in Sumy was damaged, forcing emergency electricity shutoffs for industrial consumers in the city of Sumy. So Sumy directly being impacted by this. Repair teams were working to restore supplies, it said. There were no immediate reports of casualties or other damage details from the regions. Since March, Russian forces have intensified their bombardments of the Ukrainian power sector, knocking out the bulk of thermal and hydropower generation and forcing long blackouts across the country. Ukrenergo planned scheduled cutoffs of electricity throughout the day across the country as domestic generation electricity imports could not cover the deficit. So definitely Ukraine is struggling for electricity right now, and there's lots of reports that by the end of the year, once we get into the winter time, Ukraine is definitely going to be struggling even worse than what we see right now for electricity, considering that many people will need to heat their homes and things like that. There's going to be lots of energy use in the winter time. So I'm not sure what Ukraine's going to do by the winter, but they're definitely going to be hurting for electricity very soon. And like I said, they have to do blackouts in many regions, forced blackouts, that is, considering that they have to let their systems recharge and generate more electricity again, because they just don't have enough output for all the consumers inside of Ukraine. Okay, so it's a very big problem for them, and that's why I'm reporting this. So Ukraine's energy system was already hobbled in the first year after Russia's invasion in February 2022. The power system lost about half. Look at that, half of its available generation capacity due to the Russian missile and drone attacks in the past 4 months. So I think this started back in somewhere around March, February, somewhere in there, where we started to have lots of these attacks on Ukrainian energy grid. Okay, their energy grid and infrastructure, and it's just really put a major blow to their energy system and they're struggling to maintain that. And we know that they're trying to export some of their electricity, I think, from Romania. I think Romania is trying to send some over to them as well. But it's obviously not enough. They clearly need more electricity as it is. So I also have another report here, real quick, that I just want to go over. I found this. This is from Novanight.com. It says Sumy struggles. Russian airstrikes leave Ukrainian city without water. So this is another big problem now too, right? If you don't have electricity, then you're going to have issues getting water as well, because you're uh, the water pumping stations that filter out the water, things like that. They require electricity as well. So this is another issue. Now Sumy doesn't have water, considering that their electricity grid is offline. So it says here, real quick, just Russian airstrikes have rendered the Ukrainian city of Sumy without access to drinking water, as reported by Suspilny. The attacks damaged the power supply to Sumy's water distribution center, exacerbating the humanitarian crisis in the region. So now look at this. So now Sumy's water distribution system completely offline, and they can't get water to the people in the region. And I've been talking about this for a long time, that it almost seems at times like Russia is purposely doing this. I mean, obviously they're striking Ukraine's energy facilities, right? But now this is taking down their water distribution centers system. So how are they going to get water to their citizens? And what this can create over time is a major humanitarian crisis, where many of these people that live in these regions, primarily on the eastern side of the country, is where they get hit hard. They're going to have to eventually start to flee from these areas, considering that if there's no water or no electricity, what are these people going to do? So obviously a very big issue for Ukraine right now. It says here, Sumy, situated northeast of Kiev, experienced a series of explosions overnight, marking intensified hostilities in the area. The Sumy region has been a focal point of ongoing artillery, mortar, and drone attacks originating from Russian territory, affecting 6 municipalities within the past day. So see, Sumy's now starting to come under attack, and I have a feeling that the Sumy region will probably be the next Kharkiv region, and this is going to be very dangerous for the Ukrainians, because we know that they are stretched very thin right now with supplies. They're stretched thin with their forces. We know that they're lacking military troops right now. Okay, again, I just talked about this the other day, that Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky came out and announced that they've got many dead and wounded on the battlefield, so they don't have a lot of troops right now to continue expanding the front line, sending them over to the Kharkiv region, sending them to the Sumy region. So Ukraine is going to be in a very difficult spot here very soon, but I have a feeling that once this front opens up in the Sumy region, when the Russians begin to attack this area as well, I think that's when we may see Ukraine being allowed to strike further into Russian territory, considering I did a whole report on that just the other day from James O'Brien that I discussed earlier. So this war is about to expand even more, although at the same time, we are seeing Volodymyr Zelensky starting to push for peace. He looks like he's going to be starting to want to work with Russia here very soon, considering that they don't have very many options left here anymore. Considering that they're completely out of men to keep fighting this. So just want to do a quick update and share this information with you, and let you know that the Sumy region right now is completely out of power. I don't know if it's back on yet as of the time that at the time that I record this for you, but their energy facilities were hit in this region due to dozens of drones being fired into the Sumy area. So let me know what you think down below. That's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope y'all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.